So I suppose the point I was making, that there's lots of organisations that, I mean, we're involved in the Women in Film and Television, we're involved in women animation for the gender issues. There are lots of organisations that we could be bringing in to the faculty that makes the conversation far more relevant and far more industry relevant as well, that we can then talk to the students about and the students can talk about, that I think that we could tap into really easily. That's a quick win, very easily.
And I do fully get the point how having a quick win, you may have the company think, oh, we've got this, there's no need, but personally I think just any win is a win right now.
Yeah.
So even if it's quick or slow or whatever.
If it's on the platter,
exactly.
get it. It would be illogical not to make it happen.
I'd also like to think, sorry, can you film this idiot? I also like to think, going back to the quick win, I completely agree. I can't stand checkboxing. And that may be a little bit too close. Sorry, Krista.
You didn't tell me close up or MCU.
But I think what's interesting is about model behaviours. And I think, for example, if we do things, some of the ideas that have been suggested, including, for example, the tweaking of the screening programmes, for example, those hopefully would feed through to the musing, the muse. And if we have the evidence, you know how academia is supposed to be, it isn't, but it's supposed to be evidence driven. Well, if we have some of those quick wins that reflect a slight tweak on that thing, then that gives us an argument to do that. And also I think setting aside the justifiable concern about quick wins being checklisted issues and put away, I think if we portfoliorise them, if we build them into a more substantive collection of ideas, we can be demonstrating to other departments that are perhaps less enlightened than ours, ways to go.
Create the model.
Yeah, exactly. There's, I'm a big fan of virtual learning and communities, and there's a famous saying we often use. Well, there's two sayings, on that one. But the primary one is, "Don't water the stones." There will be those staff members that would still be using Gestetner machines if it wasn't for the fact that they realised that actually photocopy CD-ROMs and the internet were a better way to go, and they realised that they were the last ones on that journey. And it's the same with socially mediated learning as it is with BAME awareness and those sorts of issues. That's all I got to say about that. But were there any other comments? Otherwise, I'm going to ask you to.
You mentioned open days, but actually what I meant was away days.
Oh, away days. Sorry, my
because
bad.
again, this comes under the banner of the quick win every year. Very soon we'll be having our next away day, so this I'm assuming will be on the agenda. And again, we can expand on it, and again, we can then have that question when we're looking at our colleagues, kind of unit briefs. We always do that thing where we look at the unit briefs. Let's swap our unit briefs and see what's going on. Well, why aren't we questioning it, not just from an ILO perspective and from a kind of, how we're executing that, but why aren't we questioning this?
Culturally learning outcomes.
So it's, again, that's using pre-existing things, but, enhancing.
So making it part of what we're already doing rather than an afterthought.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's just it should be part of the process.
Yeah.
And I think given the people involved and the staff involved, it will be just yet another important thing that we need to do, but in a good way.
I'm conscious of the times. There's one last thing I want to share with you that may be quite informative given some of the ideas that we've come up with, because guess what? We're not the first people to look at this. And what I want to quickly show you is, you can carry on filming if you'd like. I don't know how well this will come out with the CMOS shutter on that phone.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to go through, you can look at these numbers another time. What I wanted to do was to talk about this, and I don't think the laser works. This is part of a report submitted by Kingston University, who have done, I don't know, about £1 million worth of, it doesn't work on the screen, about £1 million worth of research on this nationally as a centre for, if not excellence in diversity, then certainly an awareness of change needed. And what they found was that by far the biggest contributor, it's kind of weird doing this to a phone in a group, but the biggest contributor to change in the area of BME diversity, strange sound, was actually improving institutional processes. So that, yes, we can look at enhancing knowledge and skills among staff and students and better supporting of the student experience, which is important, but that would seem to follow from an institutional approach top down. And I talked to Mike about this, and he's very well aware of that, and we've certainly got Krista's buy-in. So I think we need to keep that in mind. And all of these things are institutional wide. So, for example, that we quality assure ourselves based on key numbers throughout the enterprise, that we actually ensure that there is curriculum training. Some of you have talked about, particularly Mike, about staff training, and it's offered through the UK Professional Standards Framework that we are supposedly operating under. That we have ethnic diversity issues as an academic promotion criteria, so that we reward staff for having been just as aware of cultural diversity as they are with mental health training or with other interventions or with industry awareness. And again, that making sure that we have these kind of issues as built in as key performance indicators for the university as a whole, not just an Athena Swan tick box, not just as another, this and another one there, but actually having it built into there and making it also part of the evaluated score. So those are some institutional findings that Kingston has managed to bring to bear. And I just wanted to sort of raise those because it's striking, isn't it? How many of those are exactly the same things that we've been talking about? Mm-hmm. So I think we need, this is for the camera, we need this bottom-up enthusiasm to meet with the top-down commitment to do this beyond the tick box. And I think if we take that approach, we might be going somewhere.
It's a nice subheading, beyond the tick box.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it emphasises the...
So there you go.
And cut.